Welcome class 11 students. So this is session 2 of your revision for final exam. Now we have three logical operators. What is AND operator? It means if I have to do two or three things, then only I'll say that I have completed my task. If I am not able to complete any of the tasks out of those tasks, it means I can't say that I have completed my task. So over here, let's see that 2 is greater than 1. This is true. And 3 greater than 2. This is also true. So both this is true and this is true. When both the conditions are true, you'll get true. Is this true? And is this true? Only then you will say that both the conditions are satisfied. And when both the conditions are satisfied in case of AND operator, then you'll get true. Otherwise, you'll get false. For example, in the next statement, this condition is true, but this is false. So you'll get false. Now in this case, first condition is true and second condition is false. So again you'll get false. Now in this one, both the conditions are false. That's why you get false. So what have we learned? That in case of AND operator, both the condition must satisfy. For example, if somebody has given me two tasks, you have to do this and this, only then you can go home. It means I have to complete both the tasks. If I'm not able to complete any of the tasks, I cannot go home. If I have completed my first task, but my second task is incomplete, I cannot go home. Similarly, if I have completed my second task and my first task is not completed, I cannot go home. But if I complete both the tasks, only then I can go home. So I hope this AND operator is clear to you. Now the same thing we have, let's take the same example for OR operator. In OR operator, somebody has given me the statement that either you do this or do this task, any of the tasks, and then you can go home. So they have given me the choices between the two. I can choose any of the tasks and can complete and can go home. So if I complete first task, I can go home. If I complete second task and leave the first one, I can go home. If I complete both the tasks, I can go home. But if I'm not able to complete any of the tasks, I cannot go home. So let's try this. In this case, both the tasks are completed, both the conditions are true. So going to give you true. Now in this case, first task is completed, but the second task is not. Okay, it means first condition is true, second is not. But I'll get true. I have completed my first task, second is not completed, but I can go home. Over here, my first task is completed, but my second task is not complete. No, both the tasks are completed, so I can go home. Now let's see, I have not completed any of the tasks. Both the conditions are false. So I'll get. So in case of OR, if any condition, any one condition gives you the true result, you will get true. One condition should be satisfied. Both the conditions are false, then you won't get true. The same thing is for NOT operator, as we have seen earlier also. We have to compare the two situations. 3 greater than 2 is true and 3 greater than 1 is also true. So the result of this particular one is true. But before this we have NOT operator. It means not true is false. I simply write this one only. Then also I'll get false. Let's see this. 1 greater than 2 is false. So not false is true. So I hope the logical operators are also very clear to you. Now in this we will learn concatenation of string. Concatenation means adding, joining. So if you want to join two strings means a group of characters. After concatenation of the string, we will know what is typecasting. Typecasting, we have two type of type conversion. Implicit means which is done by the Python interpreter. Implicit conversion, when the interpreter understands that there is a need to change the data type to a higher data type. For example, if I'm adding a decimal number with an integer, the answer is going to be in decimal. So that the data is not lost. Explicit conversion, it is forced by the user. When the programmer, or the programmer specifies that interpreter should convert decimal into integer, that is something explicit. So let's try with the concatenation of the strings. Let's start with this 2 plus 3. Over here, the plus operator is used to add numbers. But if I write just joining, so similarly I can join two strings over here also. So you can see that it becomes a single string. So this is concatenation operator. If you write something in double quotes and between those two strings you are having the plus sign, this plus sign is going to work as a concatenation operator. So in case you are asked what is concatenation, concatenation means joining the two strings together, and the plus sign behaves as concatenation operator because it joins the two strings together, and you can give this example. All right, so let's move to the typecasting. 2 plus 3.5. The answer is 5.5. So this is implicit conversion. You are getting the result in decimals, not in integer, just like the above, right? But if you divide a number by 2, you'll get the result in decimal. This is again implicit conversion. I have just given integer, so I want the result as 2, but it has given me 2.0, right? So it is implicit conversion done by the Python interpreter. Let's try for some more. 5 divided by 2. If I want the answer in integers, not in decimal, what I have to do? I have to change this into integer type. So what I can write, the result of this 5 divided by 2 was 2.5, but what I have done, I have used the integer function. Means this result has to be changed into integer type, which is 2. Print function has printed the result. This is explicit type conversion which the programmer has done, because I have written int. I have forced the result to be of integer type. I hope this is also very clear to you. Now we need to discuss the types of errors. We have three types of errors: syntax error, runtime error, and logical error. Syntax error, it occurs when you have written some wrong keywords, use the wrong spacing, incorrect format of Python statement is there. If I write, that's a syntax error. It is showing you that it is missing parenthesis. Parenthesis means I'm missing the bracket. So, and it is also telling me, did you mean this? So it is also giving you some hint. Let's try some more syntax errors. Again, this is an example of syntax error. Then we have runtime error. Runtime error, they occur when number by 0, or you're dividing a string by a number. You are using a variable which you haven't defined. For example, a, right, if I'm writing a plus 2, it is giving me the result. But if I write b plus 3, runtime error, because b is not defined. And if I divide a number by 0, that is also a runtime error. Let's say I have written a is equal to b is equal to a plus 2. So this is a runtime error. Why? Because what is the value of a? It is of string type. Data type of 2, it is integer. So string plus integer. I cannot do that. I cannot add a integer to the string or string to the integer. They should be of both same data type. So just like we have done the concatenation operator where we are joining the strings using the plus sign. Then we have logical error. Let's say I want to add 4 and 6 and then I want to divide it by 2. So 4 plus 6 is 10, and if I divide it by 2, I'll get the result as 5. So if I write it like this, I'm getting the result as 7. Why not 5? Because it's a logical error. According to the BODMAS rule, it is going to divide 6 with 2, which is 3. So 4 plus 3 is 7. So that is a kind of logical error we are having. I hope you are clear with the types of error: syntax error, then runtime error, and logical error. Next, we are going to try input function. It is used to get the input from the user. For example, we need to get the name from the user, then want to print a message with his name or her name. We want to get some numbers from the user. We want to do some calculation of those numbers. So for that, we have to use the input function. Let's try this. First of all, the comment. Okay, for multi-line comment, what I have told you, you can use the 3 double quotes in multiple lines, then end with 3 double quotes, or you can also use 3 times single quote. That is multi-line comment. Okay, then you have to end it with 3 single, and single line comment can be given with the help of hash. Well, I am getting the name from the user. So let's get the name from the user. Now, because I am getting the name from the user, so you are storing somewhere in your brain. Similarly, the computer also has to store this name somewhere in its memory. Now that memory location has to be referenced by us, but how do we refer it? We have to give it a name. So that is a variable. So what should be the variable where I'm getting the name from the user? It could be XYZ, but a sensible variable name would be name. So I'm taking a variable name, then input function. Now within this parenthesis, pair of parentheses, I have to write the message for the user, what he needs to do. So I want the user to enter the name. To be enter your name. This is what my program is doing right now. Now let's take the age from the user. So what should be the variable? Age. And what should be the message? Enter your age. Now let's say I want to increment the age of the user by 2 and I want to print that. So how can I do it? Age plus 2, right? Before this I want to print the name also. So how can I print the name? Print and the variable which is having the name. There is an error. What is the error? Print age plus 2. And type error is can only concatenate string, not int to string. It means this is the concatenation operator and this is string. It cannot connect this particular value. See, in the age variable, I'm getting the age from the user. But why it is treating it as string? Because whatever you are getting in the input function, it is treated as a string. It is not treated as an integer. So for this, you have the evaluate function. You can either use the evaluate function or you can change the data type by using int function. So let's try evaluate function. Before input, you will write evaluate. Age 21. Could you see you have got the result? This evaluate function is now automatically finding out what is the data type of the value the user is entering. If you will not use evaluate function, it is not going to be considered as a number or integer. Another way to do it is instead of using evaluate function, I can use int function. This is explicit conversion which we have done a few minutes back. So I'm saving it and then running it and we'll get the same result. So I hope this is also clear to you how to get the input from the user. You can also get the string variable, you can also get the variable, but if you're getting the number, please use int function before using input function. Otherwise, what will happen? You'll get an error because whatever you're getting in the input function will be treated as a string. Now let's try some more variation with the input function. Let's suppose I want to print the message, hi, welcome to Python, to the world of Python. Hi, the name of the user, and then to the world of Python. So how can I do it? Because it's a message, hi, welcome. Welcome ke baad I want to print the name of the user. So that name of the user is in the variable name. I want to print the value of name. So that should be out of this double quote and it should be separated with the message that you are giving to the user. So the message hi welcome is not going to change. Only the variable value. The user is going to change the name. So that variable should be outside the double quote and the message and the variable's value should be separated by the comma. Now I will write the variable which is name. Now again I have to complete the message. So my double quote will again start and again the message, rest of the message and the variable should be separated by the comma. Hi, welcome, the name of the user, to the world message. Then I want the name to appear because it's a variable value which I want to display. That's why the message double quote. So again the variable and rest of the message is separated by the comma. Save and run. Hi, welcome Prangna to the world of Python. Could you see this? So we can also print the variable value in a message, but the variable must be outside the double quote and the message and the variable value must be separated by the comma. So in the next video, we will learn about how to work with the conditions. So we are going to learn if condition, if else condition, if elif condition. And there are lots of questions that we can do. Keep tuning.